Hi, everyone. I am so excited to show Inkwell to you. Before we get there, I want to show something in Micro.blog. When you have Inkwell enabled during the beta, you will see on the account page this option for feedbin settings. I love feedbin. I wanted to add support to sync with that. But there's some things in the video that I'm going to show that do not work with this setting on, but they're still enabled in the UI. So that can be confusing. So if you want to follow along with what I have in the video, keep the feed bin option disabled for now. We'll keep improving that, but let's click over to Inkwell. It's an RSS reader. You can subscribe to posts, you can import OPML files, and it integrates in a special way with Micro.blog. On the left, we have a list of posts. In the Today tab, this is stuff just today. Recent is stuff that was yesterday or the day before. And then fading, I'll get back to in a minute because that's special. But here, instead of an unread dot, they're just styled differently. They're kind of faded away if you've read them. These two I haven't read yet. I can click on that. I can click on that. And there's a couple options in the post. I can make a new post in Micro.blog for this with a link to this post that I'm reading. There's some options for text and fonts if you want to adjust that, bookmark. And then you can also select text and you get some options to start a new post in Micro.blog or make a highlight. And I find highlights are a really great way to, let's say you have a few posts you want to highlight, you want to remember, you want to read later. Maybe you want to collect them into a blog post with your own comments later, but you're not quite ready to do that now. So you can just kind of select some more text here. I'll say highlight. And then I get this little tab where it has the highlights for that post. And then for many of those, I can just say new post and it pops me over to Micro.blog. Maybe I'll go into the full screen mode and we'll add some more commentary here or something about that post. I do this a lot. If I read something, I don't really have time to think about it yet, but it's like that passage is really good. Let's highlight that and think about it or blog about it later. So that's highlights. Another thing, there's a lot of keyboard shortcuts. I'm showing, unread items, bookmarking, search. I can hit slash, and let's say I just want to find my own blog. I hit Manton. Search is really fast. Maybe I'll go down to this post, and if Micro.blog knows about a post and it has been looking at replies from Micro.blog or Mastodon or Blue Sky or whatnot, those are collected in a special tab here. So this is a blog post that I made, and I know that I got a couple replies to it. So I just hit replies here, and I can see what people said. If I want to reply, I can click on one of those, or I can go to this menu and say reply on Micro.blog if it's something that Micro.blog has a reference to. So let's get into the fading tab. And I've decided, went back and forth about how this should be structured and priced. I've decided the fading tab is for Micro.blog Premium only. I'm sorry, there are some new costs to running this. And I really wanted this to be not confusing to people. And I think the best way to do that is to give everybody who has a Micro.blog subscription, just at the $5 level, access to all the features except this tab. So why? This tab has posts that are, they're kind of fading away from the timeline. They're stuff that wasn't in the last couple of days up to a week ago. The idea with Inkwell is that just don't worry if you haven't read everything. There's no unread count. There's no need to read everything necessarily. And if a post kind of fades away and falls out of the app, just let it go. You didn't have time to read it. It's okay. Of course, you can bookmark things and get back to them later. But one of the things I found, in this case, these are all read, but sometimes I just skim them, or sometimes I miss things. And what if there was a way to get the blog posts in this section, these things that they're a few days old, maybe up to a week old, but maybe you missed something. What if there was a way to surface those so you could see them? That's what Reading Recap does. So here at the top, it says Reading Recap, and it says 223 older posts grouped. So there's 200 plus posts in here. If I click on Reading Recap, I get this special view that takes all those posts that I maybe have missed and groups them by the blogger. So in this case, Pixel Envy is the blog. It summarizes some of those posts from the last week. It links to up to 3 of them, so it doesn't get a little bit overwhelming if there's a lot of posts. And then it tries to find an interesting quote in all of those blog posts for the last week, and it puts that here. You can also bookmark it if you roll over there. Here's another one. If there's any photos, images in the post, it tries to highlight those here too. And it also adds, you can see here, a couple little topics of like, what were these posts about? So Pixel Envy, they had some blog posts about user experience, AI, and that allows you to kind of at a glance skim through some of the things you might have missed, maybe flag a couple, and maybe you will find something there that you didn't have time to read, but that you do want to go back and read before it fades away. Of course, you might not be logging into Inkwell all the time, so there's also an option to send a reading recap in a weekly email. And so you can say, like, I have mine set to Friday. So every Friday morning, it'll collect all these posts, it'll send them to you in email, group them, and it's just a kind of a way to reflect on and catch up on some of those older posts. So fading is for Micro.blog Premium. The rest is for everyone. Thanks so much for trying Inkwell. I am very excited about it. And of course, this is just 1.0, and there's a lot more we can do. I think this year is going to be great for long form reading, writing, blogging, and I'm happy to have Micro.blog take the next step to sort of complete the suite of tools for blogs. Thanks.